Greetings and welcome to my dear Aries. This is Ron from Tarot of the Twin Sun. Tarot of the Twin Sun is a functional division within the Order of the Twin Sun. Please take only what you will. This is a reading regarding the first house, regarding the Martian energy of Aries and its antithesis, the axis of the first and the seventh. What may slowly be realized, essentially, is relation to the other, okay? The other, from the self to the other, the first house to the seventh. Mars's energy as well as Venus's energy, they correlate. And this has to do with the primeval drive, the force, the energy of Mars to get action done in order to affect another, okay? In one way, shape, or form. Whether that's good or bad, it really depends on the nature and the intention of the path that the Aries person, or the person who is under the planetary rulership of Aries, essentially executes, okay? And normally the intentions are rather good. Mars gets a very bad and negative rap for being the initiator of war. However, another way of interpreting it is that it's the initiator, okay? It's the path of initiation, the idea that something has to be done, and it's done in a faithful manner with the intention of creating a dharmic effect, okay? This is something that that Aries has a tendency to not dwell upon, but to essentially have as an influence in terms of their relationships, okay? We'll be going through a number of spreads. The first is a karmic reading. We're going to look into an incident within that karma for the month of January 2023, and then we're going to go into the Great Mirror, okay? Which is a tool devised, the Great Mirror is a tool devised by the Order of the Twin Sun in order to see particular karmas that exist between Aries and a significant other, okay? We'll go ahead and get started now. Okay, so there is a need to, for the month of January, there's this feeling that there is a need to sort of become cognizant, to become coherent with what you feel, okay? What Aries feels about a certain situation. This has to do with understanding the difference between pleasure and pain, between joy and sorrow. Okay, this has to do with the notion of regret or regretfulness, trying to understand why there would be regret in a period in which there's a disassociation with other people, okay? So it requires isolation, this path. At the same time, there is a need to revision or to revisit from a future state of being what has gone on in the past, why things have worked out in a certain way, why is there this feeling of being trapped in the past in some sort of way. And as a future, there's a way to look into the past and try to understand why. We have the two pages, the page of sword as well as the page of wands. And both of these pages are looking back, okay? And it's a transference from the air, from the element of air into the element of fire. The result is ultimately a way of thinking, okay? A way of thinking and a way of protecting that which is yours on an intellectual level, and to separate yourself from a period of regret, a period of closure, a period of a feeling of denial, or a feeling of loneliness or emptiness, okay? The idea here is to break out of a way of thinking, and this is going to be approached if you can grab hold of reality, of your resources, your true resources, your power. And this is leading up to a way in which you can be true to your reality and not rely on others in terms of looking for connections with others. There's a period of isolation here, and it's been forming for some time, in which you have been comfortable in a way of thinking, and now there's a way to learn by looking into this mode of regret, this mode of disassociation with others, and looking quite deeply into that. The advice is to be fair-minded. The advice is also to try not to escape from this feeling, okay? We're going to look more into this part of the reading and get deeper into essentially what that was about in terms of karma. Okay, interesting. So there is a secondary nature to you. It's as if you are ready to offer some of what you have to others, okay? In terms of your own reality, in terms of your time, your energy, your resources. It's as if there's a part of you that is willing to come up with an idea, okay? You're willing to give an idea out. Something is coming up in terms of what you've invested your time into. There is fruition. There's something about this that brings forward a way to continue your design, to continue your practice, okay? To continue your discipline, your practice. And this is going to become more relevant as you approach, I would say, a welling up of energy that comes from the cycles of the moon and its eclipsing, okay? Essentially, I'm not sure if there are eclipses in January, but essentially what I'm seeing here is a reaping, an idea, an ideology that you can impart to others, okay? And this will bring, essentially, a crossing of paths, okay, with other people, similar goals, a choosing to be with others, choosing to be a part of something, okay, by imparting your own ideas, by pushing them forward. That's what I'm seeing in terms of an incident. Something, it's like you've been waiting for something. It may or may not be coming in terms of a reward, but you are gifted with ideas, with an ideology, and you can actually hand it out subtly to others by being more idealistic in your thinking. Okay. Now we're moving into the Great Mirror. Yeah, we'll just go ahead and get into it. This person sees you as someone who has arrived at a point of ambition. Um, this is also something that you are consciously aware of. There is a need to no longer focus on others, but to become quite aware of your own path in January. But also in terms of this relationship, your own path. There's something about you that cannot give the time of day. There certainly is a burden that this person symbolizes in some way, shape, or form. There's a feeling that they have gone through quite a bit on their own, and it's become quite heavy. Okay, I think a period of judgment is coming for both of you, in which there is a sense of arrival, but also coming to a point that you must move or do something elsewhere. Move or do something elsewhere. Your card is coming up here with the Fool. We have Major Arcana, Judgment card, a calling, a resurrection of sorts. Somebody wants to resurrect something. There's something about you that may flirt with this idea, but ultimately what comes to mind is solitude, peace, the need for peace, the need for peace. At the same time, there's something about you that by impulse or by reaction, by some Martian force, there would be a need to push forward some form of trying with this. The thing is that as you add to this person's passions or this person's feelings or a need to create something, their creative force, as you add to that with the Fool, it turns into a mode of inspiration, meaning that you can actually inspire this person through your own self-ambition, your own self-design, your own self-realizations. There's a sense of arrival, and there's a turning point that may happen, a turning point of some sort, in which you may be called into what emerges as solitude for both of you, an incident of solitude, an incident of peace, an incident of imagination, but also openness to Neptune. Okay, the idea that both of you can share a dream, let's say. I think boundaries are very important in this situation. There is a need to understand that even though you may feel the calling to collaborate with others, to place faith in others, you may find that this is an avenue that is familiar, and it actually is trying to substitute connections that are actually a lot more authentic, that are actually a lot more innocent. Not to say that this connection is not innocent or not authentic, but there's something about this that speaks about, I would call it the missing piece, the missing passion. Okay, something that you can bring to them, that you would naturally do so, but there is a sense that you have to give back to yourself first. Okay, there's a possibility here of friendship on the cards, but it sort of, it would be a feigned friendship, a faux friendship, and it's really important to, for them especially, to actually not contribute to trauma, not contribute to escapism, to settle in one's feelings or in one's realization of the natural flow of things. I mean, this is a type of connection where it feels like it wouldn't feel quite natural in terms of the flow. There is a way of sharing land, sharing perceptions, sharing resources in this type of connection, but the avenue, the actual avenue of authenticity, I think, is at question here. Now, one thing that comes up as advice is la maison, the house, the mansion, the Ten of Pentacles. Okay, there would be a need to bring forward the solar rays of the sun and the moon together into a type of conjunction, but there is a harmonic aspect in terms of I would call it 30 degrees, in terms of bringing forward also the mind and the inner world together, so that there could be some sort of harmonious aspect, at least in terms of the civil, in terms of the humane, okay, in terms of society, what is expected there. La Maison is also the houses, okay, the houses. So this is pointing to at least one or two houses, adjacent houses, and because there is a possibility of a 30-degree aspect, this symbolizes essentially some harmony that can come through the idea of the 10 of rods coming up here, as well as the 10 of pentacles coming up in La Maison, the 10 of pentacles. There's something about this that is hinting towards the end of something. I mean, it could be the end of a way, the end of passion, the end of the culmination into something more familiar or something more committed. These are all possibilities. The end game is here. The idea here is to be conscious and not to do things in terms of mischief, but to be more grounded and to do things from a more practical perspective. Okay, there's a lot of perspectives going on here, and I don't recommend too much in terms of enacting anything with this person or individual. I do wish you well. That is your January reading. Thank you. Bye-bye.